Hey, 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 you beautiful twin flames, and welcome to Tarot for You 444. I'm so delighted to have you with me, and I want to give a shout out to all of the people doing my courses and getting readings from me at this time. It's been such a pleasure to work with you all, and I just wanted to give gratitude for choosing me to help you through your journey. And if you do want to contact me for a reading or a package or anything like that, just a quick note to do it as soon as you can, because my my timetable's kind of filling up quickly. So if you need, if you feel like you need an urgent reading or you need to be seen to more quickly, try and get to me, via email as soon as you can. Of course, my information is down in the description box below. So today we're going to do a Twin Flames check-in in just a moment, and the Divine Masculine, I think, is going to have a lot to say, which is great, because a lot of us have been wondering and waiting a little bit on him. So I wanted just to really quickly talk about boundaries and how important they are in everyday life. And this has come to me mostly because we're in Mercury retrograde, and a lot of people are having a difficult time sort of filtering through the energy, because the energy around Mercury retrograde or Mercury in Gatorade, I mean, you don't have to tap into it, but it's just that sometimes delays can happen. Technology can muck around a little bit. Things don't, I don't know, you could be making something in the kitchen and you drop the whole bowl on the ground or something. Just silly little things like that, There's nothing major, just silly little mishaps that are sent to piss us off, basically. To try us, to see if we really are in our heart space or not. You know what I mean? So what I want to do is just really quickly, like for about, 2 minutes, just talk about boundaries. And I want to tell you that having boundaries is like having, two goalposts here, okay? So let's say that's one boundary over there and that's one boundary over there, and all of this stuff in the middle is what you kind of expect others to do, like, I don't know, maybe you think that people should be polite or kind or, at least not be an asshole to you. Right? Maybe, for some of you it might be, well, I don't like it when people yell at me, or I'm not going to, talk to someone who belittles me, or those kind of things. So you can fill in whatever your boundaries are here in the middle. And then if someone steps over your boundary, you're well, if there's the squiggly line going over the boundary, you're well within your rights to say that's not okay. All right. So, wow. Divine Masculine wants to speak. So I'm going to have to cut this short about boundaries, because he really wants me to tell you what's going on. But I just want to say that if you have children, it doesn't matter if you have children or don't, but if you do have children, you'll know pretty quickly that if you don't tell them what the rules are in the relationship, as in, mother to son or mother to daughter or father to son or father to daughter, right? They don't know what the rules are, and so they will continually break them, and the boundaries will be broken. So I don't know, you might have, if you've got kids, you might have 4 major rules, don't swear, do the dishes after you, clean up, don't drive grandma's car when she's not looking, don't take her keys, whatever those rules are. And so, some parents even put them up on the fridge so that everyone knows what the rules are, speak to each other with kindness, or etc., etc. It doesn't matter what the rules are. That's not the point. The point is that if the people around you, whether that's your uncle or your brother or your sister or your mother or your boyfriend or your twin flame or your best friend's cousin's uncle's dog. If the people around you don't know what your boundaries are, then they're more likely to break them. And some people will break your boundaries without even realizing that they're doing it. So make it clear. Sometimes we forget to tell people what our boundaries are. You know, I don't like it when I'm spoken to in a rude way, let's just say, as an example. Or I don't like it when someone tells me they're going to call me and they don't, right? So make it clear what your boundaries are, and then the people around you can stay within the goalposts of respect for you. And if they know what your boundaries are and step outside of them, then that speaks volumes to you. I mean, unless they're hungry or tired or didn't have sex for 3 years, then maybe you can understand why they're a little bit grumpy right now. You know what I mean? Obviously, some people have a tolerance level as well, so you've got to watch out for that. But I just think it's a really important note today is that when you've got a boundary, it doesn't have to be like 10,000 rules. The 10,000 rules to, you know, being my friend or being my boyfriend or being my girlfriend, it doesn't have to be like that. But when you have rules, it's kind of important because then you can see who breaks them and who doesn't. Who's crossing your boundaries, knowing that they know what your boundaries are they on purposely crossing them? I don't know that on purposely is a word, but anyway, you know what I mean. So make sure that you tell people what your deal breakers are, because then you set the tone. Okay. I'll tell you while I'm shuffling, because we're not quite ready yet. The divine masculine and feminine want me to shuffle a little bit more here, but I had to make a phone call yesterday on behalf of a friend of mine because they didn't want to make the phone call, and it wasn't anything major. It was just that they just didn't want to ring up a secretary and ask the question. And I said, well, I'll do it for you, I don't mind. And so anyway, I would put my nicest, sweetest voice on, you know, knowing that I'd also rung up, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks prior to ask the same question, and there'd been no result. And so, of course, I rung up in my sweet voice to ask the question again, and the woman said to me, "We will contact you when we know more," right? And she just like put this tone on with me. And I said, "Oh yes, I do realise that. It's just that I hadn't heard from you in a little while, so I'm just ringing up on behalf of my friend to find out if there's any more, you know, etc." And so anyway, she kept on the tone, and I just said to her, I said, "You do realise that this is a client of yours that you're speaking about, and I'm ringing up, you know, on their behalf, and I find you being quite rude right now for no reason," right? And boy, that opened a can of worms in her ego, of course, and it was quite funny, really. But I kind of mirrored back to her how she was being with me, and it was really for no reason. I was just kindly ringing up to just find out if they knew any more about the subject. And I found it interesting because before, I don't know, I'd spoken to the same secretary, I don't know, about a year ago, and she actually was really in her heart space, and she just couldn't do enough, you know, for me at the time. And I just thought it was interesting how quickly she changed, and how that because other people perhaps had stepped over her boundaries as a person, you know, maybe had been rude to her, or maybe had been, or, you know, she'd overextended herself to them in a work capacity. I found it highly interesting that it had affected her so greatly to the point where she just didn't give a flying razoo anymore, you know. So be careful with that. Watch the way you treat other people too, because everyone's going through their own thing. Looks like we're ready here. Interesting today is that the divine feminine is showing up in the divine masculine space, and the divine masculine is showing up in the divine feminine space. So it's kind of like they flipped energies, and you might be finding that your masculine is being more feminine right now, and that you are being more masculine right now. So take gender how it resonates. It's never about gender. I just mean about the energy. Okay, so it more your masculine, your divine masculine may be more in his heart space, he or she, right? I'm just using those terms so that we can understand where we're going. Of course, they're only energies. So anyway, let's see what's going on with the masculine and then go to the feminine, just to confuse everything for the day, because it feels like we're back to front, upside down, around and around. Interesting. This desire for the feminine is still not quite there from the masculine, but it's about to be. Interesting. He is really noticing the difference without her, and I love this because it's kind of this I'm kind of pissed off because I can't have her right now. That's kind of what it is. It's kind of like, you know, this is like sourpuss face, you know, kind of pissed off. Sour grapes. Are they grapes on the vine there? Oh no, they're just leaves. But notice the moon, the full moon here. It's like, I don't know, for some reason I want to say that he's realizing how much of a goddess she is, and he wants to be intimate and experience that. So he's thinking about becoming a leader again. He's thinking about serving her, and he's also thinking that it's time he showed more fondness, because he hasn't done so enough. Interesting. So I'll show you the cards. You know, the need to show the feminine more fondness with the Ace of Cups here, but also wanting to show leadership here as well. So this want to come across as being masculine, even though the underlying feature is very feminine because it's love. And then he kind of asks the question to himself and says, how can I serve her? How can I serve her? Wow, that's a huge, huge change, a huge shift. Divine feminine, you've been working and nurturing yourself lately by the sounds of things. So the divine feminine is in this place of, I'm just doing me right now. I love divine feminine. She's like, look, if this isn't going to happen, I guess I'll just do me. And I love it because she's been doing this for a while now. Maybe some of you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur or starting your own business or doing something wild and fantastic with relation to, I don't know, arts and crafts, or your mission, if you have a mission. Which this is really exciting energy here. And I really enjoy the next part, because We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ace of Cups in reverse. This is a past thinking energy, and it's a letting go of this energy. So it's a letting go of the ego here, an understanding that you're coming into being truly who you are, despite, you know, the outer circumstances around you, and then enjoying the moment, being present in the moment. You know, perhaps, I don't know, sipping that coffee a little bit slower, or I don't know, putting some more detail into the way you look, or even starting an exercise regime or some kind of new project, but doing it with love. I love this. We have the Ace of Cups here for both the masculine and the feminine in the thinking space. His is directed to her, and hers is directed to herself, which says a lot, doesn't it? Because as she directs the self-love to herself, she's actually directing it to her divine masculine, which makes him love her more, if that's even possible to love her more. Wow, oh wow. So how is he feeling? Wow, this is huge. The sun is here. Finally, we've been waiting for the sun to come again. He's feeling a yes. I don't know if there's any songs about yes. Oh, yes. We're gonna make love and it feels alright. Yes. Da 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 da. He's singing it. I can just imagine hugging and teasing and loving and squeezing all night. Right? I haven't warmed up. My album's in the description box below. Just imagine that, an album with me and the gang. Be fun, wouldn't it? That's a joke. Don't go looking for it, really. I know you all were. You were all just pausing the video and going to the description box below to see if it was there. It's not really. That was a joke. So here he is going yes, right? And look at the blueness. I love the blueness. Why? Because it represents the throat chakra. It represents actually saying it. The potential for the feeling to actually come to fruition and say it. His ambition is to work on grounding himself. Grounding himself. Wow, we literally have a match here. Grounding himself to meet his match. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles together. So he wants to ground himself to meet his match. We have ambition and loyalty, right? He's being loyal now. Whether you're seeing it showing up in the 3D world or not is not important. In his feeling space, he's being loyal, right? Wow. I did notice the little planet there as well. That's, you know, it's an otherworldly connection. And then the love heart in the stars. Otherworldly connection. So the divine feminine is still in that place of gaining her strength. Wishing that the universe would bring it a little bit quicker though. We do have that here. She's like, I wish the universe would kind of just bring this just a little bit quicker. Okay. But she's on the trajectory of getting it because she's gaining her strength. We have the Strength card in reverse. She's not weak, but she's still gaining momentum here in the connection because she knows how important what she does is and that it matters. We then have the Four of Pentacles. So she's still holding on a little bit to the 3D world. A little bit perhaps to ego, a little bit perhaps to maybe getting confused about whether, you know, there's being assertive and then there's being bitchy, you know what I mean? So I guess when you're assertive, and we were talking about boundaries before, you know, you let people know that what you won't allow, but you can do it in a loving way. So it looks like she wants to do that, but sometimes when she gets tired or when she's had a long day, she might get a little bit short. You know, she's like, I just want a little bit of peace right now. Just leave me alone, you know. But it's not in a bad way. It's just the fact that, you know, she lives in a human body, and so she experiences the human things. So just be aware of that divine feminine. You can still stay in a heart-based space and have boundaries as well. That's not for everyone, but you know what I mean. Now, in the action space of the masculine, I find this so interesting. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Three of Cups upright. The Queen of Swords in reverse is this unwillingness to be fair to others. And the unwillingness to be fair to others is for those karmic people around. The ones that have kind of done the wrong thing. The ones that have been belligerent in some kind of way. They're cutting those people off. They're being, you know, they're not showing the fairness that they used to show in the past. We also have the Queen of Wands here in reverse. So it's a lack of determination. In the upright, it's determination, but we have a lack of determination here to celebrate. So there's still this energy that's lacking within the divine masculine, because they're kind of having this little, they're noticing their feminine side. And so, you know, it's the opposite of masculine energy. The masculine energy goes out and it, you know, it provides and protects and is creative. You know, this is kind of the opposite of that energy. This is, although they're still being masculine in the, you know, in the sense of leadership, etc., underneath all of that is this really gentle, loving quality where they're realizing that their loyalty matters, their servitude to the feminine matters now, because she's always been there, and there's a lot of other people in their life who haven't showed up that way. So the feminine is going through this death and rebirth, and I love this card because, you know, it shows anything is possible. What she envisions can come true. And then if we look closer at the card there, you can see that there's the infinity symbol representing the twin flame journey. So she knows that she's on a journey, and she knows that mostly this journey is about herself. She's not real focused on the masculine in a sexual way right now, because she's sending out, I was going to say sending out an SOS. Remember that song? Gee, that's a really old one. But, you know, it's not an SOS, but she's sending out her magical vibes into the universe. You know, messages of love, messages of power, messages of, you know, her cosmicness. That's my new word for the day, her cosmicness. So it's a really beautiful energy, and I want to say that her focus upon herself is really turning the masculine's head here. So what does he want to say today? What does he want to say? Divine feminine really is just remaining in this nurturing space, perhaps getting into ego a little bit when people piss her off during the Mercury Gatorade, as I like to call it. But, you know, she's not doing it to be a bitch. She's kind of just standing her ground, you know. But just try and do that with love. Try and realize that other people, especially the unawakened ones, as I like to call them, people who aren't awake yet, you know, they they don't understand what they do, you know. Wow. Look at this for a beautiful message. There's this essence of patience for the divine masculine. If they haven't come in for a while, or if they haven't spent time with you in a while, they know that they might need to gain the divine feminine's patience back to be accepted again, to be in the fold. They don't look real happy about having to wait, though. She might be a little bit too busy for him. Divine feminine may have even been contemplating walking away from the connection in the recent past, but he wants to tell the truth from here on in, whether that's in a telepathic way or in, the 3D reality. But there's a truth to be told here, and that truth to be told is that they're making a decision here, making a decision to move forward with, I love this, to move forward with a grounded offer. It's only a page coming, but he's like, I need to start from the top and work my way up. If you were starting a job within a company or something, you'd say, well, I have to start at the bottom and work my way up. So it's like he wants to gain this momentum again in a beautiful way. So he doesn't want to just come in and say, I was in Guatemala feeding the monkeys, and I had no phone reception, so I couldn't talk to you. He doesn't want to do that. He just wants to say, hey, I know I've been away for a while. I haven't been coming in as much, but I want to reward you for waiting for me. There's this rewards card here. He wants to reward the divine feminine's ability to wait while he was transforming. Notice the butterfly there. I've been seeing butterflies a lot here too in Australia. If you notice in this card, the sadness there of the masculine was going through a lot of trials and tribulations with their 3D karmic world. And for some of them were having, not all of them, but some of them were having spiritual epiphanies and breakthroughs and kind of ascending as well. And so this is, if you know yourself when you first begin ascension, it's, or wake up, however you want to describe it. But, you kind of realize that you're in a matrix and you go, OMG. And so he's really grateful that the divine feminine has been waiting for him to go through his OMG, which some may call the dark night of the soul. So this is a really beautiful reading here. This is the divine feminine working on herself, working on her crafts, working on, her masculine energy is a little bit too strong. But it's okay for the time being, because it dips the divine masculine into his feminine energy for a little time. And so he becomes more understanding about the connection, more feeling it. And we want the divine masculine to feel the connection, because in the beginning, when they first came together, there was that, that bubble love or that bliss phase, and we want them to experience that again, or the lack of. When you experience a lack of something, it becomes much more priceless to you. It's like if you've been drinking a particular brand of coffee for 20 years and all of a sudden it goes off the market, and then you can't have it for 5 years, and then they bring it back again. The first time you sip it again is just, it's blissful, Don't you hate that when that happens, when they take something off of the market, off of the supermarket shelves, and you can't have it anymore? Maybe you can let me know in the comments if they've done that for something that's been a favourite thing of yours. They do that with chocolates quite often, the certain chocolate that you used to love as a kid, they don't make it anymore, or ice creams, or and that kind of thing. So I guess we've finished for today, but I do want to say that for those of you who are still confused about the twin flame journey and the dynamic of the twin flame journey, you're more than welcome to go into the playlist section of my videos and have a look at the twin flame concepts. You're also more than welcome to get a reading with me to discover your situation. And I can, if you want, I can do a divine masculine and feminine spread, so we can look at what you're both thinking, feeling and doing, and then perhaps an outcome, because for some of you it can be really confusing, because what I've noticed that happens quite often as I've been coaching for a while now is that many divine feminines go and begin working on themselves and begin giving themselves self-love, but they still kind of checking their phone. They're still kind of, got this part of them that longs for the masculine. And although it's okay, it's basically, it'll block them from coming in, because it's this needy energy that occurs when that happens. And so what my courses teach you how to do is how to be whole within yourself, so that you don't need your divine masculine. And then the manifesting course is after that, the ascension course, and then it will teach you how to manifest them energetically, because you really don't want to be trying to actually do stuff in the physical reality. If you're guided to reach out to them, you can reach out to them, but sometimes that can be detrimental to the next step. And I always say go with your inner guidance, but sometimes if you're not in the right frame of mind, or if you're not in the right space, you can kind of make the wait or the separation longer. So I've come up with a complete system now. I've got the Ascension package, the manifesting course, and then the Magic 20. So when they do actually physically come in the 3D reality, you know exactly how to behave and what to do. So divine feminine, the tip for the day is to just come out of that masculine space. It's okay to go to work and create and drive and build and drive all of that passion into that, but then come home, or I don't know, some of you may work at home, but then come back into that nurturing, loving space. Okay, because that's what will madly attract your masculine to you, is that beautiful, holding space, that nurturing, lovely stage. And also remember too that the masculine energy is the provider and the protector of the feminine. So he, it's when he's ready, or when the divine feminine helps him be ready, I should say, he'll come in and he'll want to provide and protect her. That's what he'll actually want to do. Some of my twin flames are seeing amazing results happening. People have been blocked for years on different social media platforms, and they've done my courses, and all of a sudden they're, talking for, hours, hours and hours on the phone, and, marriage proposals are happening, and people are thinking about living together, etc. So, my courses do work, and I just wanted to let you know that I do have payment plans for those of you who can't afford to pay the full price. Just email me. If you're not sure what you need, just email me, and of course I will do my very best to help you in any way that I can. And of course, go and watch my twin flame concept videos, because they will really help as well in the playlist. Okay, I wish you a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully soon we can have a funny reading, because I haven't I haven't been real funny lately, but it's kind of serious because, you know, divine masculine's kind of getting all serious in his feels and stuff, which is great. Divine feminine is just smashing out her life. I'm just drawn to this card once again. But look at that, divine feminine. How beautiful is that energy? Congratulations on what you're doing for you. It's astounding and mesmerizing. And some of the beautiful stories that you send me, I find just amazing. So know that you're not alone today. I'm always here if you need me. And yeah, I think that's all. Okay, see everyone. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.